I'm Matthew Daniel Williams, better known as my audience and friends always call me Bebe. Of course, that was the name given to me quite fondly by my grandfather, Bebe. And I was born in the South in North Carolina. Raleigh was the capital. I was born in Wake County between Raleigh and Durham. Uh, as far back as I can remember, I remember my father and my grandfather. My grandfather was quite well known, and he at the time was a farmer. He owned, what I was told at one time, at least a couple hundred acres of land. He never had maybe close to 600 acres from what my mother revealed to me. And then he grew things of every sort, and his field really was medicinal herbs. Of course, back during that time, they had very few, if any, hospitals that African Americans were able to be treated. So he was the doctor. Back in the day, they probably referred to him as a root doctor. But he had treatments for every known disease, etc., etc. Even the doctor, which he chauffeured for at the time, would only give him a patient, from what I understand, when he had no other faith in what treatment he was giving him, or more or less a death sentence would really cause him to refer them to my grandfather. So they would say that the only time he would get a patient like that was to raise him from the dead, you see. So that was kind of the thing I heard coming up. Of course, I remember a lot about the South as I was growing up. I remember the walnut trees and the black walnuts in the ground and the pecan trees my grandfather had in his land. And every type of vegetable one can imagine. Never had to go to the store to buy anything because they had everything already there. So every vegetable one can imagine, fruit trees, apple trees, peach trees, just cabbages. I had livestock, geese, ducks, chickens, all of that, and had a smokehouse where meat would hang from the ceiling, as I recall, as a kid. And I had a cousin that probably inspired me. He was an artist also, but the only thing he mostly drew was automobiles, and like that. Quite a draftsman, you might say. And my grandfather also was a fortune teller. He read people's fortune and so forth. And he predicted that I was going to be an artist like that. And I guess I was inspired to become an artist because my sister, which was close to 2 years older than myself, maybe a year and a half, something like that, she started school before I did. She would show her lessons and her paperwork and so forth, and her growth as she was developing, to my grandfather. And he would look at it quite fondly and compliment her. So of course that would make me a bit jealous, and I would go and do something on the paper to get his attention and to get his approval as well. So this is kind of some of the things sometimes that inspire a child to perhaps to pursue as something that impresses their elders or their parents and so forth. That's what started me drawing. I could write actually because I didn't understand what I was writing, but I could write the words because of my vision. I had a pretty great concept of being able to render anything I looked at. So that's kind of where it started at. But as time went on, there's a lot of things, and instances and experiences that I had and held in that time, too numerous to mention in terms of that's just that alone. As I move on, I actually started school there in North Carolina. I probably left North Carolina with my mom when I was about, say, close to 7 years old. Of course, I was supposed to go to the third grade, or I was in the third grade, and I recall having to drop out because my parents had issues and problems, and they separated. And of course, my mother left my father after the fifth or sixth time. He would always seem to be able to talk her back, and I think the last time she had made up her mind that she was gone.